The Seattle Seahawks win their first preseason game in 2 years. And last year, if you remember, the Seattle Seahawks were 0-3 in the preseason. That won't be the case this season as they beat the Minnesota Vikings 24-13. Without further ado, let's go to the video and hear from Pete Carroll and some of the
We had a
players.
great time. It was hard getting started. You could tell that this was the first time we tackled anybody. That's why we used the preseason games, and we needed the first quarter to kind of just whatever, shake the cobwebs or whatever. The defense came back in the second quarter on. They played great. They played great all in. And those young kids did a beautiful job playing the scheme and making the plays we needed to make. I thought all in all it was really a really strong win for us because we can build on all of the things that happened. And the cool thing was that the young guys playing in the fourth quarter, playing well enough to win the football game and shut them down, and the defense and football and all of that. I thought Drew did really well tonight. Did a really nice job. I believe the ball got tipped on the pick. He had the right choice. He was reading the right guy and all that. He also got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Other than that, he was in command and had a nice night. We run the ball as well as we went too early, but it was the same. The blocking and tackling, it just took us a while to get going. And again, that's why we got to play these games. So there's so many names to talk about. You guys asked me the question, but I was really excited about Holton. In the end of the game, did what he needed to do, and finished up, found a way to make plays. I know everybody's there, Tebow, and all that kind of stuff, but it's Holton. He did a great job for us tonight to finish the game. Yeah, the first thing that we heard is that there was no findings. He got cussed, but there was no findings beyond that at this point. So we got a real good report. I'm hoping that's conclusive, but that's what we heard. He looked really apt for the position. He fits well. He moves well. He's the quarterback really well. Covers ground well back there. He's got good decision making on playmaking opportunities. So I think it's going to be a good spot for him. He's also going to be called on to play corner for us if we need it. And he's got nickel and dime he's playing. So like I told you during the week here, he's doing everything. The choices that we've settled in on for the way we basically play, the calls worked out really well tonight. Guys were really confident in him, and as we played more, we got better. And we brought the scheme to life a little bit. So it was a good night for us on defense. We hit a couple pressures, and then the balls just popped into the secondary. We made a couple errors where that happened. But once we got going, we were really clean. I thought that Patrick O'Connell made a bunch of plays tonight. Devin Bush made some real nice tackles too. The backers did a good job.
As a Seahawk in my career, never walked out there in a Seahawk uniform and played a snap. Had a blast. 12s were definitely in effect. Silent cadence in a preseason game is hard to get done from any stadium, so that was awesome. But overall, it felt great. Just to be playing football again, gosh, it's weird when you go a whole year without taking a snap. And props to G for doing that last year and rallying this team and getting us to the playoffs. And man, it felt good to finally be back out there.
Pete Carroll.
It's the first time in my career without taking a snap in a season. It was interesting. Going back out there, feeling the flow of a game again, being the one in charge. Practice, we do a great job in practice trying to simulate a game, but nothing's compared to when you really step out there, moving the ball, trying to put points up. I'll take every rep I can get. It was really, really fun tonight. Fantastic to me since I've been here. The way he runs this program and this organization, it's fun. You want to come to work, you want to get better, you want to be there with your brothers in the locker room. And I think in an environment like that, I just don't think every place has it. And this place was special. Shane Waldron has done a fantastic job in my eyes through watching it last season with the way he called plays for G and the system that we run. I feel comfortable in it, and it's just a really great place. It's a really great place. I believe in the guys on this team. I believe in our defense. I believe in our offense. I believe when we put both sides of the ball and special teams in there, this can be a really, really good team, and I want to be a part of something special this place is.
Obviously, preseason is one of those things where it doesn't count, so we kind of just go all out and just take a chance.
The run fits, run defense have been such an emphasis. How'd that go tonight?
It went well. Still some things to clean up. Yeah, tackling early on, but you know, it's always gonna be stuff to clean up. You know, it's early in camp still, first preseason game. We got 2 more to go, so we got a long time, you know, and a good amount of time to clean that up.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. You know, like you said, it's almost exactly 2 years to the day. And it was definitely you know, it almost took me by surprise not throwing that kickoff. Everything felt faster than it used to. Definitely a little bit rusty. Got some work to do, but it was just fun to play football again.
Ben,
Yeah, I mean, just with the extent of the injury I had, there's always going to be stuff I have to deal with. So I definitely have to, you know, spend extra time taping, rehab, and things like that, just to make sure I stay on top of everything. And then it'll probably just be the nature of my career for as long as I play football, and that's just, you know, the nature of the beast. You play this game, you have an injury like that. There's always going to be things that, you know, that'll bother you down the road, and so we just got to stay on top of stuff and keep grinding. But like I said, I was able to go play a football game today and go play another next week and just keep stacking them.
Space, you know, just coming out making a tackle. You know, once if God forbid you miss that tackle, you know, the whole world sees it. You know, and then still having the run gaps, you know, learning the deep half, playing quarters, you know, things like that. Just, you know, I'm still learning.
I think that was just a culmination of practice, obviously. You know, we practiced that play a lot, and Drew saw a look that he liked and gave me a look, so I kind of knew what I was doing. The ball was hyped, and he fit into a tight window as 3 guys surrounding me. I just had to make sure I secured it going down, but it was a great feeling.
All right, so you heard the video and you have some quotes. Let's kind of run through some of the performances and see if anybody, you know, distanced themselves in the position battle. At center, I think it was a stalemate. Evan Brown started. Pete said he is the starter for right now. And rookie Olu Oluwatimi also came in the second quarter and played extensively for the rest of the second quarter and a little bit of the third. Joey Hunt finished at center at the end of the game, and they both played really well. Punt returns, the wide receivers had an amazing day, and Aesop Winston Jr. was a one-man wrecking crew, and he really turned eyes on special teams, and then he had 3 receptions on 4 targets for 29 yards, 1 touchdown, which came near the end of the first half. Going down the wide receiver, the Seahawks are loaded. Jackson Smith-Njigba played true to form, targeted 4 times, made 3 receptions, the longest for 15. But again, his smoothness, his speed, and his understanding of the game and going to pockets just amazed Drew Lock and everybody else, and he's the real deal. Jake Bobo, 3 receptions on 3 targets of 55 yards and 1 touchdown. He's another one that Drew Lock talked about, saying, hey, you know what, this guy is real. And again, remember we talked with Jake Bobo. His length, his ability to be versatile in the slot, wide out, is what makes him so special. And then I would say that running back Zach Charbonnet, again, he had 1 reception on 3rd down and 3rd and 14 the first quarter, showing what the Seahawks want to do with him. The rookie played really well. He had a nice 6-yard reception, showed his versatility with 2 receptions for 14 yards, and then he had 4 carries. The kid is the real deal. And then don't forget DJ Dallas. Though he didn't show up on the stat sheet, he did see reps in the first quarter. And the coaches they know what they have in him. And so, he didn't distance himself, and yet he didn't hurt himself. And let me go to the defense. Kobe Bryant started at safety, which is really, really, something that they want him to do to add versatility, and so that that deep defensive backfield, Pete Carroll and the defensive Clint Hurt can really move things around. And you heard from him in terms of that being Kobe Bryant. He said, you know what, I have no problem covering the passes and the run as well. And you got to be physical at safety, but you also have to learn to read the game. So Trey Brown had another great game at left cornerback, and so did Michael Jackson on the right cornerback. Devin Bush, 5th-year linebacker, showed why the Seahawks picked him up from Dallas. That is from Pittsburgh Steelers. And he started linebacker and saw extensive time in the first half. He finished the game with 6 tackles, 5 which were combined, and 1 solo tackle. Boy, and Mafe continues to shine. He, again, is possessed, and he was in the backfield a couple times, and, he finished with 3 tackles, 1 of which was solo. Lastly, Drew Lock was 7 of 14 7 of 24 for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Locke did what he was supposed to do: manage the offense, move the offense, and play efficiently. Sure, he had the interception, but in the end, you know what? That's a correctable thing, and that's something that they'll look at. That's why you play the preseason game. And lastly, Kay Johnson was taken off on a stretcher just right before halftime after returning a kick in the second quarter. Johnson was transported to Harborview Medical Center as a precautionary measure. And it was just scary because he was on a stretcher. And everybody was like, wow, what happened? So early preliminaries, he's got a concussion. But again, they're just checking the soreness in his back and also in his neck. And also nose tackle Cameron Young had a calf injury. And wide receiver Cody Thompson had a groin. And so there you go. The Seattle Seahawks win their first preseason game with energy. And this should really catapult them. There's plenty of film for them to take a look at and grow from. So it's on the coaches and the players to take that next step. For the Cascadia Sports Report, I'm Asvita Mara Ire.